This is a public service announcement sponsored by Just Blaze and the good folks at Rocketsville Records. Fellow Americans, it's with the utmost pride and sincerity that I present this recording as a living testament and recollection of history of the making during our generation. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
What's good people? You know it's the Hustler TV, J Hustle back in the house. Been away for a good while. Wanted to come back and see what everybody's been up to. Of course, we got to give a big shout out to the original, the DST. My sister Real, Bo Knows, Show Enough, definitely Super Dell. Taking a bow from a rose. What's up, everybody? And I just been watching my brother Super Dell do his thing. Big shout out to him because he's been keeping it going. You know, a lot of people don't think we are together, but we're just not just a group of friends. We an actual family of brothers and sisters. So we keep in touch with one another behind the scenes, pushing Dale ahead. He's doing big things. Glad of what he's doing, and just wanted to get back on the scene and see what's going on. And quiet as it kept. I'm trying to get Bo Knows back in here. We're gonna work that out here as soon as he gets some time, and we'll be sure to get back with everybody on that note. But I also been doing some things behind the scene, like a lot of people know, or maybe not a lot, but those who did know that me and Bo had some things going on in the background as far as streaming, like our own stuff, doing things like with certain apps, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. I always kept my Plex up, but never really put it out there except for, certain people who had access to it. But then I started thinking, what else how else can you get certain content to your Plex? And then I had to remember our sister Real would give me and Bo classes on what to do. And being knuckleheads that we were at the time, I know Bo paid attention half of the time. I kind of paid attention a quarter of the time. But then when I wanted to really get back into my Plex, I wanted to be on a different level than what I had before. Expand my library base, look for different information on how to make everything click all at once. So a couple things I did. One thing we always teach is do your research, right? And there is so many ways that you can set your Plex up. So many, cloud services, or if you use hard drives on a computer, whatever you use, there is no wrong way. It's more or less like the best way that fits you and your household, or you individually by yourself. So, of course, I had to do my reading and do my studying, and I came across some good things. Like, what was it? The one thing I really started working with is an app called rClone, if you want to call it that, rClone rather. And what rClone allows you to do, because I wanted to connect one of my clouds together, meaning, let's say, for example, I took rClone and integrated it with my Dropbox, right? So with that doing, you had to go behind the scenes in your computer and do certain commands and let everything sync up together. So what that allowed me to do is hooking up rClone with my Dropbox and then connecting my Dropbox to Plex. I was able to do things on a level that was surprising to me. So what rClone does, and you connect it to your Dropbox, it sets up what you want to call a ghost drive on your computer or whatever you run in your Dropbox or your Plex on. So with that ghost drive, I could see how much storage I had in it and how I wanted to work with it. So I said, wait a minute. What that means, I can go ahead and that ghost drive will show up in my Plex. I can send my contact to the ghost drive and load it right up. So then I said, well, how about making it a little bit faster? And I had to remember, Real gave us some classes on using radar and sonar and SAB. That was a lesson I had to learn all over again. It took me a minute to do that because I was used to get my content the old way, which is good, but it's more time consuming. And then we're talking to Real, she was like, look, if you do it this way, you won't have to worry about what you're doing a whole lot of time consuming and getting the contact, putting it in one area, making it look right in this area, and then putting it on your Plex. Sonar and radar and SAB, if you have it set up right way, will arrange it where the episodes will look like you want it to look. The movies will look how you want it to look by cutting out all that extra stuff. So by doing that, I was like, hey, this is good, you know. Then I thought about how about this? How about just connecting sonar and radar and the SAB up to my Plex? So now I have it where, and this might be old to some, new to others, but by doing that, you can go in and look at the content you want, especially on TV shows, when you can go in and set the TV shows up on the calendar where each week that stuff is automatically populated for you. And you don't have to worry about having to spend time on the computer hours at a time trying to get that content in your Plex. So by using our clone, connecting it to the Dropbox, and then connecting everything up to my Plex, it's like one-stop shop. I don't have to worry about wasting a whole bunch of time. I can put the information right in there, scan my libraries, and everything's in there that I want to see. So that was a good thing. So shout out to Real for helping me with that. Shout out to Bo who helped me with it. Even though I had to keep Bo on the phone a couple times, but yeah, shout out to them too because they really helped me with this, and I like the way it's working now. So the way I set my Plex up is I just started out with most recent movies is 2025 and went down the line, and as TV shows, me and Bo had a certain way of separating our TV shows. That way, it made it easier for us to find stuff. Also, I may have a lot of libraries in here, but it's a lot of good content. And I will never get bored, or whomever I'm sharing my Plex with will never get bored. You can't never say you don't have nothing to watch. You sitting there on a day where it's cold and you don't want to do nothing outside. You got your friends or family in there, or your special lady sitting there. Turn on the Plex and watch what you want to watch. It's all about what's best for you, how you want to do your content, and how you want to present it. So basically, like here, these are some of the stuff that either is out now or I went back and got, especially with the sonar and radar. I was grabbing up stuff left and right. Where is my one category? Right here. I even started going back and getting some older TV shows, and I named it old school TV shows. So as I continue to find stuff, I'll fill that up. Reality TV shows. You can go over here to the library and look at the various stuff that's in here, and I have a lot of choices to watch. Animation. There's some good animations that are coming out or that are out. Black cinema is what it is. Um, you can't go wrong with movies from the past that were good when I was growing up. And if you want to step back a little bit further, classic, classic movies. You can't go wrong with anything like Black Caesar, Black Joy, um, Black Mama and White Mama, stuff like that. So it's a lot of it's nostalgic for me because I grew up watching a lot of this stuff, um, and it just brings back good memories. I can just go into my Plex and watch whatever. I set up a section called collections. So I got all the 28 days or 28 days later, anything that was a series of movies I have in here. All the Avenger movies, all the Bad Boys, the Batmans, the Beverly Hills Cops. Everything that I like in the past, I can just pull up, get some popcorn out, watch the TV. Anything from documentaries to kids movies to faith, um, movies period from just about any era. I'm sorry, I have in here. So I love it. I love the way it flows now. And I'm just continuing to add stuff to my library. And a lot of people know I'm a big wrestling fan. So this section of wrestling is just full of stuff. So I never get bored. You got your westerns. Um, a couple shows I think I was going to point out that I think everybody should take a look at. Where is it at? Let's see. Recently added. So, okay. High Horse, the Black Cowboy. That's something that really good that people need to pay attention to. That's a part of history that can't be erased when they have tried to erase their history. You can't do that. That's a very important part. So if you watch something like this, High Horse and the Black Cowboy, then if you go back, because a lot of times um, people will say, well, there's certain movies that I didn't understand. Let me see, where's one good at? Let's hit home. Let's go over to, let's see, that's recently out of TV. Let's go down here. So that TV show, the about the Cowboys. If you go back and watch Nope, and a lot of people didn't understand that movie. They had a lot of different theories about it. But if you go back and watch Nope, after watching this series here, High Horse, it'll make a lot of sense. Any genre movies that make certain what do you call it? Certain acquaintances to our past, you'll now understand if you rewatch those movies. So I like things like that, like this movie here, The Harder They Fall. Now, even though this was like um, the characters in the movie were actually real. The movie was a dramatization of what probably happened in certain situations. But you take those characters that are real life characters, the names rather, and you go back and you then watch this or watch this first, it'll all make sense. So pay attention to some good TV series that come out that explain history, and then you can go back and watch certain movies like, oh, now I get it. That's why that makes sense. But I like that. I'm a big history buff, plus especially with our history, and then a lot of things come out that a lot of people don't know but should know. So take heed of that. What's another good one I was watching? This one here, what is that? Oh, Squid Game Challenge. That was a trip. I like it. It's different from the Squid Games actually, Squid Game movies, but the challenge is always good. You have All's Fair. You have Kim. You got Miss Nisi in here. You got Tiana Taylor. So there's some good stuff, and a lot of these actors and actresses are starting to do actually starting to do some good movies. What else did I like that just came out? Let's see. Genie. Here it is. Here's one with what Tiana Taylor is in too, called One Battle After Another. Of course, it has DiCaprio, but Tiana Taylor is in it. Sean Penn played a good role in it. Regina Hall. So you got to pay attention to some of these movies that are coming out, and you don't realize who the actors are in it or actresses are in it until you actually pay attention to it. Um, I had to watch that movie twice because first I didn't get it, but then when I watched it the second time, everything picked up. So I say that was actually a good movie there. So just wanted to put out a little quick video um, on what's been going on. Like I said, holler at Bo. We've been hollering at each other about getting back on. We've been missing each other just because of schedules, but we'll sync that up and get back in here and see what the good people out there are talking about. Let y'all know what we've been up to. Hope everybody's having a good start of their holiday season. I know this can be hard for some people, but hey, if anytime you feel the need that you need a voice to be heard or somebody to talk to, just reach out to somebody. Don't keep it all in because that only stresses you out on the inside, and it's better to talk about it to get out on the outside and be happy. So till next time, we will see y'all later. Holler at your boy, Jay Hustle, in the house.